Welcome to Geeking Out with Shad. I am super excited that GoPro finally updated their Max camera. This is the GoPro Max 2. It is amazing. One of the big things that I want to talk about with this camera is more about its form factor and capabilities than anything else. I do have the Insta360 X5 sitting over there, and I will show you a little bit of a comparison. But if you want to know all the specs and side-by-side comparison videos and all of that, that's already over YouTube, but all over YouTube. But nobody's really talking about the importance of form factor and just GoPro in general. So let's get into it. Okay, here are both cameras side by side, right? And if you look at the Insta360 X5, it is like a long, skinny shape, rectangular. And if you look at the GoPro, it is square. And as far as thickness goes, they're pretty dang close to the same, right? And the reason I want to talk about form factor more than anything is that this camera here is not designed very well when it comes to multiple uses, right? Let me just switch out here to this guy. This is the selfie stick that comes with the Insta360, and this is pretty much how they intend you to use it. You can extend this, it can go really long actually, and hold it out there, walk around with it, mount it to your bike or whatever, do kind of fun stuff with it, which is cool and all. But if you want to do anything else with this, it makes it really challenging, and I'll explain to you why. So this here is the GoPro chest mount, and here's like a standard GoPro. This is a form factor of a standard GoPro. Not quite as tall as the Max 2, but pretty much a similar thing. And they're super nice to just throw on a chest mount like this, right? And you're good to go. There you could mount it on a helmet mount or things like that. Lots of different ways to mount these, but I primarily use the chest mount for bike footage. If you haven't noticed behind me, I'm into mountain biking and stuff, BMX, things like that. But I use a GoPro a lot for my other channel, which is called Shad Life. I will put a link to that down in the description if you're interested in my biking content. But what I want to talk about here, is that the Max 2 super conveniently just works. So you still have the ears, right? You also have the same mount, and I'll show you that, the same thread mount. Oh, as I keep fumbling with the ears. Okay, now if I want to do POV footage, point of view footage, using my chest mount, I just throw this on there like that. I put the camera in single lens mode, and I have this super wide view, and I can set the settings to go super wide, medium, or whatever. And I do this thing a lot of times called horizon level. And so I go into the super wide mode, and then I do the horizon level, which has to crop it in a bit, and it looks really good. Here's a clip with this camera of me riding some jumps on my mountain bike. Nice. That looked really cool. What I liked about that clip is you can see the handlebars down below, even the jump, and pretty well around you. And when I go around the berm, you see the bike kind of lean over, and yeah, it's pretty cool. And even more importantly, this just nicely fits on here. It's super compact. It just fits right in there. It's not tall or anything like that. And I'll show you the difference here. And while I'm at it, they did do one major update between the first Max and the Max 2, and that is they lined up the lenses, because the original Max, one lens was offset from the other, and that made the stitching a little odd when you got closer, but this, since these are lined up, it's way better. Now, pull out the Insta360 X5, and there is no GoPro attachment on here. It only has this. So I have to use an adapter to put this on there. And if I do, and I'm just going to have to hold it here because the adapter's off in La La Land. But actually, I think I have one here. Oh, yeah. Look at that. I got one right in my, I just noticed I had my little bag over there. Okay, here's the adapter that I have to put on here, right? And then I have to make sure that these are straight, because if they're off to the side, the camera will be off to the side. So it's kind of a tricky exercise. You get it set up. Now I can put this in here. And now that is just awkward. It's way up here. It's because it's kind of high and top heavy, it wants to flop around, so I have to tighten the straps. It's just, it can work. And then even though I have this thing as tight as I can get it, the camera still wants to easily turn, right? It's just not that good. And so if I want to have a better setup for this, I can order the Insta360 chest mount for the X5. But apparently, according to them, it only works for the X5. Doesn't work for any of the previous generations. I don't know. It's just weird. So, like, for me, I don't like this at all. Like, compared to the Max 2, this is just super awkward. It's up higher. It's weird. And I would rather have a mount that can use a variety of cameras, right? Like if I want to throw one of these on there or this or whatever, I don't want to have a different mount for each camera that I have, right? So it's not ideal. And it's clear to me that this was designed to like sit on the end of like a selfie stick or something, and that was their main purpose. So if that's your intent to use it, if that's what your intentional use is, then great. But for people who do action sports, this is just an awkward form factor, and the longer it is, the more heavy and weight bias it is out away from you. You want that weight to be as close so it's not bouncing around, even if it is on a selfie stick. And so the GoPro Max 2 has the ears, the traditional ears that fold out of the way. They have a magnetic mount, and they have all three options. And if you want to run it on a selfie stick, there you go. So it's just super well designed and just works super nicely with all these different form factors you might want to use it in. So that is one main reason why I like the Max 2. There's a few other differences. I do have to say I got the X5 because I was impatiently waiting for the GoPro Max 2. I really didn't know when it was going to come out. And I only got the Max 5. The X5. I didn't get the X4 or any of the previous generations because they didn't have replaceable lenses. This is the first Insta360 X whatever camera that they have that has replaceable lenses, and you need a special tool to pop them off and put them on, because these will get scratched. They just will over time, over use, and you don't want to have to send it in or do some hacky pry it off and re-glue it, all that stuff. There's videos out there on it. These you just twist off and you put on. When I say lens replacement, it's the lens cover. The lens is actually inside there. And the lens covers are pretty durable too. The GoPro Max 2 and the original Max, they've always had replaceable lenses. And even the regular GoPros, you can replace the lenses on these, or the lens covers, I should say, to be more accurate. And it's just, you know, it's an action camera. You're gonna, like, I've crashed and scratched the lenses on these and had to just pop it off. I have a couple of replacements and pop a new one on, and so on and so forth. And I've already crashed with this camera. Here's a clip of my crash. Oh, fuck. Oh man, that was brutal. Like my front tire caught a rock and just turned my handlebars 90 degrees. I scraped up my arm, whatever. But thankfully, I didn't get hurt beyond just scraping my arm. But the lens got completely scratched and damaged. And this was brand new. It was the first time I was out actually using it. And you can see a little bit of scrape marks and stuff on here. But GoPros are durable. I've had GoPros for a long time, and even these guys, and have completely smashed them into the ground and stuff, and they're super durable. Just something that I really like about GoPros. But all of that being said, I do want to talk about why it's important that we are supporting a US company, GoPro, instead of these Chinese companies trying to, you know, compete with GoPro and take their sales. So let's get into that. So GoPro is the OG. They are the ones that started this whole thing. Before GoPro, I had this little bullet cam with a cable and a little camera box or whatever with all the brains in it down here or whatever, and it was 1080p, right? Then GoPro came out and you had these plastic cases on them and stuff like that. But then they started coming out with these guys, and it was just a huge improvement. And then they came out with the original Max 360 camera, which was awesome at the time. I think 2018, 2019, somewhere around there. But they've been incrementally improving, and the quality is so good that you see these things used professionally all the time. A lot of these Red Bull events and everything like that, you see them wearing GoPros. I watch a show called How Ridiculous, and they use GoPros all the time, and they're super durable and everything, as I just showed. They are just the OG, and they're a US company. They're innovative, and I just believe it's important to support these guys and buy their products instead of these Chinese companies trying to come in and take a share of the market. By all means, competition is good because it's what pushes GoPro, but I really hope people really start supporting GoPro because it's a smaller company. They've kind of been struggling and everything, but with the release of this, it sounds like there's some good news out there. Their stock's back up and everything like that. But you're for the large majority of people just posting content on YouTube or on Instagram or TikTok or wherever you like to post your stuff, the quality of these things is so good that you're never, like, you don't need to get into all the little nitpicky things. If you're a professional photographer, videographer, that's a little different, but I even see professionals using these things. So yeah, it's important to support GoPro, I think. You know, they're the ones that are sponsoring athletes, sponsoring events. You see GoPro everywhere. I just watched Red Bull Rampage last weekend, and they had a lot of the riders had the Max 2 mounted to their helmet and things like that, and the footage is super good, super impressive. So there you have it. If you're shopping for a 360 camera, this is the one to get right now. And you can use it as your only camera. You could even not have one of these and just only have this and do all these different configurations with it. And the settings and stuff on here are super simple to use. You can have all these preset options, all this stuff. It's really well done. So yeah, there you have it. I appreciate your support for my channel. Please like and subscribe. Peace.